Hi, I'm Megan Natavle. I am from LUMOplay, and every week I do a tutorial video to show you how to make an interactive floor or wall. And I love teaching people how to make their own interactive floors and walls because it lowers the cost and it allows you to understand how these systems work so you can maintain them and they will last a whole lot longer. This week I'm going to show you how to set up your computer so that it auto reboots on a schedule. This is something that is really important for any long-term installation using Windows. So if you're not using LUMOplay, but you do want to know how to restart your computer on a schedule, then you're in the right place as long as you're using Windows 10 or 11. Let's get started. So the process for telling your Windows computer that you want it to reboot on a schedule is fairly straightforward. What you're going to use is something called the task scheduler. So go down to the start and then type in task scheduler. And that's going to pull up this pretty doodad with a little clock on it so you know you have the right thing. And if you're very lucky, you won't have a cat in your way. Goodbye, Momo. Go on. And then what you're going to do is you're going to create a basic task and you're going to give it a name so you know what it is. And our recommendation for our installations, according to Kurt, who knows way more about this than I do, it's better to set your system to reboot just before you are going to use it. So a lot of people like to set their schedule so that it happens in the middle of the night when they're not there. Kurt's suggestion is that you set up your system so that it restarts an hour or so before you get into your center so that everything is up and ready to go. And also it catches any potential updates that need to happen before you open your doors. So I'm going to call this restart at 7 a.m. So I know exactly what that task is doing. Then I'm going to click next. And I want this to happen every single day. So I'm going to leave it on daily and click next again. And then this is where you tell Windows when you want this task to actually start. So if you don't want it to start today or tomorrow, then you would put a different starting date. It is December 3rd today, and it's giving me the time right now. So, I'll just leave it because I do want it to start tomorrow. But if you didn't want it to start for a week or so, you could change this date. I'm going to click next, and then you're going to leave it on start a program. And then click next. And this is the magic part. This is where you will type in shutdown.exe/r. And that /r is really important. That will tell the computer that once it shuts down, it also needs to reboot. If you're looking for a way to turn your computer off, say at 7 o'clock at night every night, and then turn everything back on just before you come in, then there's a hardware solution for that. There's actually quite a few, but Crestron is the one that is most likely going to be recommended to you by your installer. So you can look into that if what you need is for the system to stay off for a while. But this is a really easy, fast solution that's built right into Windows that's still going to extend the life of your system and also allow you to make sure that your computer is getting all those updates and things that it needs on a schedule. I'm going to click next. It appears as though arguments have been included in the program text box. Do you want to run the following programs, shutdown.exe, with the following arguments, /r? Yes, that is going to restart my computer, so I'm going to click yes. And then I've got this all set up, and all I need to do, it says the trigger is 4:30 p.m. every day, so I'm going to go back to that trigger. So we're going to set this for 7:30 a.m. Next. Yes. Okay, I'm going to click finish. And I think what's going to happen now is that the trigger is going to happen at 7:30 tomorrow morning, and then the restart will start happening at 7 o'clock in the morning the following day. So it'll be running that trigger all day until the time that it's supposed to restart. Now, the next step of this process, if you're using LUMOplay, is you will also want LUMOplay to launch every time your system restarts. So let's launch LUMOplay and go into the preferences. And all you need to do to get LUMOplay to start when your system reboots is just toggle on this Start with Windows. So just make sure that you're like right over it. Make sure that this is checked on, and that will be your sign that your LUMOplay software will start. And then if you also want it to resume the last app when it starts up, so whatever was playing when it turned off, you want that to come back on. Say you're using a playlist or you are running an app that you had customized specifically for your center, then you just also want to make sure that this area here that says resume last app on startup is also checked. So I'm going to click done and I'll run my ball pit. And now if my computer reboots on a schedule, or if there's a power outage and it comes back on, it's going to automatically open LUMOplay and run this app. I hope you enjoyed this week's tutorial. This is really useful advice if you're putting in a long-term installation, especially in a museum or in any sort of place where you can't easily get to the computer. Restarting your computer on a schedule is going to make everything last way longer, so it's definitely worth setting this up. If you have any questions about this or any other sort of long-term interactive display installation, leave them in the comments, and if there's something that you'd like me to cover in my next tutorial, please let me know. You can reach me at info@lumoplay.com. I'll be back next week with another tutorial.